Hi, this is Arthur Carmazzi, best-selling author and currently ranked as one of the world's top 10 thought leaders in organizational culture and leadership. And welcome to Where's Your Brain? Today we're going to be talking about brain-based learning. Is there actually a difference? Okay, so do you learn differently than maybe somebody else? Well, of course, there is all of Gardner's multiple intelligences, and we know all about that. But today we're going to be talking about something totally different. We're going to be talking about how clarity relates to long-term memory. Now, let's just kind of think about that for a moment. Okay, in order for you to actually remember something, does it make sense that you have to at least have some elements of clarity in order to, well, basically remember it for the long term? That means that you have learned something, that you know something. Is there elements of clarity? Well, of course there is. You have to have at least some elements of clarity for this to go into long-term memory. So if you've been watching Where's Your Brain for a while now, you also know where we store long-term memory. You may remember the hippocampus, or hippocampus as some may call it, and this is where long-term memory is developed. And if you remember, there's a number of neurotransmitters affecting that. The number one, of course, being serotonin that kind of moves stuff in there. Of course, we also have dopamine, norepinephrine, and don't forget acetylcholine. Not important today, though, because today we're going to be talking about the actual elements, the process. So what are the exact parts that really support the creation of clarity? What is the ambiguity relief process, or the parts of the ambiguity relief process that create clarity that can now help it to go into long-term memory? And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So the first one is connectivity. Now, your brain is going to either be super connected, which basically means that it is like the moment that something comes in, it's like already connected. Everything's already connected, which is more of an internal process. That means it is that information is instantly assimilated into the clarity getting process. But, okay, for things that are less connected, okay, that means that there must be some kind of an external process in order to connect them for the clarity getting process. So this is one of the elements or the parts of the ambiguity relief process, which is connectivity. The second one is going to be perception. Now, of course, you may recognize that this is a vase up here behind me in this thing. Or it may be two people really talking to each other at very close proximity. Okay, it's a perception thing. You've seen tons of these things floating around. But here's the thing, okay? When you look at something, when you are getting clarity, your brain will either look at it from a perspective of an abstract or as concrete. So, abstract or concrete are another element that basically deals with the clarity getting process. So the first one, of course, connectivity, which also determines an external or internal connection, okay? And then, of course, we have abstract or concrete, and now the third one is speed. Now, if you remember when we were talking about speed, speed is not necessarily better, it is just different. Higher speeds of brain processing simply mean that you do not really pay attention to details and really structure. Imagine the Ferrari, if you remember in one of the videos back there, okay? You don't have time to look at the scenery when you're driving at 200 miles an hour down the freeway. So, speed affects clarity. It affects the number of details, the amount of structure. So faster speeds definitely can help you to solve problems on the go or notice things that are kind of, you know, in this abstract kind of like feeling kind of thing. It depends on where you're going, okay? And or it can also, you know, help you to be very detailed, structured, and for that matter, potentially logical. All right? So these are the three things that affect the ambiguity relief, clarity getting process of the brain. Now, how does that all relate back to the colored brain model that we were talking about in the last video? Well, let's look at the green brain. Now, the green brain, of course, is what we call chaotic processing. So, what are the elements, or how do these elements connect or don't connect? Okay, first of all, let's look at connectivity. In the green brain, nothing is connected. It's all kind of like there, and you connect things as you go, right? Okay, then, of course, you have the abstract perspective. All right, which basically means you're kind of like, going around, kind of looking over here. And then, of course, then there is speed. Okay, green brains have a very fast speed, which also means they're not really very good with details or structure. So this part of the clarity getting process, okay, helps you to essentially learn things in a very different way than other people who basically connect everything, or who are more concrete rather than abstract, and also who have lower speeds. So all of this stuff connects to form a specific learning process that is going to go into long-term memory in the hippocampus. So, if you want to learn more about colored brain, okay, don't worry, we're going to show you how these different brain processors, the colored brain processors, do learn in the next videos. And meanwhile, of course, if you want to learn more about colored brain for a super special price, go to coloredbrain.com/book. There it is right there on the screen. And you can pick up your private, personal copy of the Colored Brain Communication Field Manual for only $3.80. Okay, so have an awesome day, and this is Arthur Carmazzi wishing you great success.